There was no day you decided to give up. There was no big failure. There was no moment when life said no to you so loudly that it was impossible to ignore. You just tried to change something once, and it did not work. Then you tried again, and again it did not work. And then something strange happened. You stopped trying. Not because you made a decision, but because a new setting appeared inside you. Quiet. Almost invisible. Not worth it. You never said those words out loud, but gradually you started living as if they were true. What happened? Maybe it was a job interview. You prepared. You wore the right clothes. You answered the questions. You thought it went fine. Then the email arrived. We have selected another candidate. Thank you for your interest. Or it was a girl. You worked up the courage. You sent the message. She replied politely but briefly. You understood. Or it was a project. You proposed an idea at work. Everyone looked. Someone shook their head. The topic was closed and they moved on. One moment, one no. Nothing special. But what happened next? Nobody told you. Year 1. You tell yourself you are just waiting for the right moment. You did not stop trying. Just a pause. You just need to recover a little. Prepare a little better. Wait until things level out. This sounds reasonable. You believe it. But the pause quietly becomes a pattern. A job opening that interests you. You look at the requirements and find a reason why it is not the right time yet. Missing one skill. Slightly less experience than they ask for. Better to wait until you are completely ready. A girl you like. You think about reaching out. Then you think about what it would feel like to get a short reply again. And you do not reach out. An idea that came to you. You keep it to yourself. Why bring it up? They will say it is not right. You did not decide to stop trying. You just found a specific reason to wait each time. The reasons are different. The result is the same. What happens to your brain? Your brain did something without your permission. It remembered. Attempt equals pain. And it drew a conclusion that felt like protection. Do not try and it will not hurt. This is not weakness. This is biology. The brain is built to avoid pain. Rejection activates the same regions as physical pain. This is not a metaphor. This is neuroscience. The anterior cingulate cortex. The same signals as when you are physically hurt. The brain remembered that trying is dangerous, and it began quietly talking you out of every next attempt. Not loudly, not through fear, through rational explanations. Not ready yet, not the right time yet, not the right moment yet. You think you are thinking. In reality, your brain is protecting you from pain you felt one time. Year 2 and 3. Something begins to change in how you see yourself. Before, you thought of yourself as someone who just had not started yet. The potential is there. The time is there. It just has not come together yet. Now you begin to think of yourself as someone this is not quite right for, not consciously. Just when someone asks, have you thought about trying X? You hear inside yourself, not, yes, I want to. You hear, well, that is not really for me. Where did that come from? You do not know. It feels like it was always this way. But it was not always this way. It grew from one no, from one attempt that did not work, and from 2 years of avoidance that the brain turned into a belief about who you are. Your circle of possibilities narrows. Not because there are fewer of them, because you see fewer things as possibilities for yourself. Other people apply, meet people, propose ideas. You watch them and think, it is easier for them. They have a different personality. I am not like that. That is not true. But you believe it. What others see. There is something you are not noticing. The people around you are forming an opinion about you, not a cruel one, just an accurate one, reliable, stable, not ambitious. This is not an insult, just a description, but it begins to determine what opportunities come your way. You are not offered the difficult projects, not because they do not trust you. They are just used to you not reaching for them yourself. You are not invited into certain conversations simply because you never signaled that you wanted to be in them. The world stops knocking on your door not because you are bad, but because you stopped answering when it knocked, and it found other doors. The promotion goes to the coworker who raised his hand. Not because he is smarter, because he raised his hand. You simply said nothing. Year 5. You are around 30. You watch the people around you who are moving, changing jobs, launching projects, meeting people. You watch them and feel something strange. Not envy, something duller. The exhaustion of watching. You start explaining their success through external reasons. They got lucky. They have connections. It was easier for them to start. Their situation is different. This is not cynicism. This is a defense mechanism. Because if their success is explained by luck, then your stillness is explained by bad luck. Not by choice, but it was a choice. Quiet, invisible, stretched across 5 years of small decisions not to try. The hardest thing at this point is not that you did not achieve what you wanted. The hardest thing is that you stopped wanting. Not because the desires disappeared, but because wanting means risking getting another no. And that is something you learned not to do. Wanting without trying hurts too much. So the brain removed the wanting. This is called learned helplessness, a term from psychology. Martin Seligman described it in the 70s. A person who experienced unavoidable negative outcomes stops trying even when the situation changes, and trying is possible again. They simply no longer believe that trying will change anything. One rejection is enough for this, if it is followed by a long enough period of avoidance. What actually happened? Go back to that moment, to that one no. What did it actually mean? One interview out of thousands you could have had in your life. One person who clicked send on an email. One day at someone's company when they were choosing between several people and chose someone else. That was not an evaluation of you as a person. It was one data point. One, out of thousands possible. But you treated it like a verdict. The people who achieve things are not those who never got rejected. They are the ones who got rejected the most. Because they tried the most. Jay-Z was rejected by every major label before he started his own. Oprah was fired from her first television job. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded. These are not motivational quotes. This is just the math of attempts. More attempts, more rejections, more results. You got one rejection and stopped the math. You are sitting right now, and somewhere inside there is a thing you wanted to try. Maybe a long time ago, maybe recently, something you are keeping to yourself because bringing it out into the open means becoming vulnerable again. You know what I'm talking about. Here is the truth about rejection. It hurts the same whether you tried at 24 or whether you try at 35. The pain does not get smaller from waiting. It just gets postponed. And while it is being postponed, life moves on without you. The only thing that changes over time is not your readiness. It is the number of years that have already passed while you were waiting to be ready. One no does not define your trajectory. 5 years of silence after it does. You can break the silence today. Not because you are ready. You will never be completely ready. But simply because there will not be another moment. There is only this one.